Just like to read some words of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. It comes from a chapter entitled Compassion, and the book is called The Essential Dalai Lama. I think that ultimately intelligence is the tool with which we can overcome all our conflicts and differences. It is therefore important that human intelligence be utilized in a constructive way. That is the key. If we utilize its capacity properly, then not only human beings would become less harmful to each other and to the planet, but also individual human beings would be happier in themselves. It is in our hands. Whether we utilize our intelligence in the right way or the wrong way is up to us. Nobody can impose their values on us. I believe the individual is the key. For change to happen in any community, the initiative must come from the individual. If the individual can become a good, calm, peaceful person, this automatically brings a positive atmosphere to the people around him or her. This is why mental attitude is more important than external conditions. I suggest that we should pay more attention to our inner qualities. There are a number of qualities which are important for mental peace, but from the little experience I have, which I love that he says he has little experience in peace. This is the Dalai Lama. I believe that one of the most important factors is human compassion and affection, a sense of caring. As a Nobel Laureate, the Dalai Lama has taken these actions into the world. I would like to introduce two Nobel Laureates who were part of a delegation that went to Dharamsala to personally deliver a statement of support signed by 8 Nobel Peace Laureates. Shirin Ebadi was awarded the 2003 Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts to promote human rights, in particular the rights of women, children, and political prisoners in Iran. She is the first Muslim woman to receive the Nobel Peace Prize and one of the first female judges in Iran. As a lawyer, Dr. Ebadi has taken on many controversial causes defending political dissidents and as a result has been arrested numerous times. Jody Williams received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1997 for her work to ban landmines through the international campaign to ban landmines. Like others who have seen the ravages of war, she is an outspoken peace activist who struggles to reclaim the real meaning of peace, a concept which goes far beyond the absence of armed conflict and is defined by human security, not national security. Please welcome Shirin Ebadi, Jody Williams.
I hope the poet will take this with the deep admiration with which I intend it. It's not what you get, it's how you handle it. I think of Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Tutu handling apartheid. It's not what happens, it's how you handle it. I think of Rigoberta Menchú Tum fighting against the oppressive military government of Guatemala as they ethnocided the ethnic villages, including her family members. It's not what you get, it's how you handle it. I think of my sister laureates, Betty Williams and Mairead Maguire, who cannot be here this evening. Mairead was with us when we went to Dharamsala at the beginning of this campaign. Mairead is not with us because it's what she does with it. She is on the Bertrand Russell Tribunal on Palestine, another occupation and oppression. It's not what you get, it's how you handle it. His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the people of Tibet have handled it in ways that few probably would have expected. Part of the ability to handle it the way they've handled it is because of the gracious compassion of the government of India and the people of India, not just accepting refugees. Many countries accept refugees. India gave them a place to call their own. India gave them grace, compassion, the ability to work to rebuild what is lost and hopefully will be recovered inside Tibet. It gave them space and grace, and it is what they got, and what they did with it is rise like a phoenix. Thus the shirt. From trials, tribulation, and oppression to preserve their culture, to make it stronger, to preserve their culture while also keeping it current in the modern age. I was stunned the first time I went there to do a peace jam peace jam is we're jamming for peace, and there are about 10 Nobel laureates who jam for peace. We jam, so does His Holiness. I was there jamming for peace with 500, yeah, I know, it sounds funny, doesn't it? We're jamming. With 500 Tibetan young people. And I was stunned. They were speaking English. They were doing computers. And I thought, wow, he really does have vision. While preserving the culture, he allows them the space to participate in today's globalized world, as Shirin said. That's vision. His vision of bringing democracy to the community in exile. When we were there in October, bringing our letter to His Holiness and the government in exile and the people in exile, thanking them for preserving their culture with grace and compassion and modernity and vision. It was wonderful to see the children still being modern, breakdancing, jamming for peace. It's wonderful to see how democracy is growing in the exile community. It's always an honor to be in the presence of His Holiness, who reaffirms that compassion does matter. It's always an honor to be with people of Tibet anywhere, getting to share a little bit of their culture in grace and compassion as they have risen like phoenixes from the oppression. Too many have to rise. I have to mention, it's not what you get, it's how you handle it. Our sister Nobel Laureate, Aung San Suu Kyi from Burma, the only peace laureate still imprisoned in today's world. It's not what you get, it's how you handle it. It's not what happens, it's how you handle it. And we sincerely thank His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the entire government in exile, His Holiness's sister, Madam Pema, who helped start those schools that help the children retain their culture while coming into today's world. Thank you, Tibet. I wish that we could say more, and I hope we're still around to go back with you into Tibet and celebrate all of this there. It's not what you get, it's how you handle it.